4, 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon, folks. It's your man already, George Page, aka the Emperor of WMN Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Right here, we have a guest. We have a very lovely lady who just over the weekend just had her second bare knuckle fight. It is with the BYB, which is the Extreme Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. I believe that's what they call it. I saw her fight about over the weekend, and she was her opponent. It was over in England, and she won by, I think, was it unanimous decision, if I was correct?
Split decision, yeah.
Split decision. And we have here the Red Queen herself, Jamie Driver. So, Madam, tell us how you got into such a sport of blood, guts, and tears.
Well, I've been training MMA for about 10 years now. So I started that, I was 21. And before that, I played field hockey, I did lacrosse, I did track. So I've always been an athlete. And then when I was 19, someone brought me into a gym in Philly, and I had my first amateur fight at 21, and it stuck. I loved it. I fell in love. And what was it, about 2 years ago, before COVID hit, I was offered a bare knuckle fight with BKFC. And then some things happened. I had some injuries and such. And then BYB spin the block, and they offered me a great deal. And I said, you know what? I mean, I fought MMA. I've done kickboxing and Muay Thai before. I said, what's one more combat sport?
Yeah, that's the tough thing about the bare knuckle thing is tough. I saw a while ago you have a split on your hand, and and I know, yeah, and you have to. If everybody knows about the bare knuckle, it's different from with boxing. You have the 10-ounce gloves. With MMA, you have the 4 or 5 ounce gloves, and with bare knuckle, it's just tape on your hands. And I don't think that's not enough. And I mean, it's tough. I mean, I've seen some people who, especially you're a pretty lady yourself, and you got a little shine right there. And like I said, I know you have people, friends, that say like, Jamie, why you want to fight like that? Because you don't care if you're gonna look like Craig Mack in the face.
No, I don't really care what I look like. It has nothing. Like I'm an athlete. I'm a competitor, so I want to win. I don't care if I got a nasty shiner and a cut and a broken hand. I'm gonna keep doing it.
Now, also, there was a situation in your past that you were homeless for a time, and then you met up with a legend in the sport of MMA, that is King Mo. And how that all came about between you and King Mo?
Well, I wasn't homeless. I lived in New Jersey. And then I got an opportunity to come train at an American Top team in Coconut Creek, Florida. And he was training already at American Top team. And he happened to call me one day. Coach Mo happened to be there with him, and he was like, hey, I got this fighter, she wants to really come down here. And he was like, I got a love sack in the corner of my house if you want to sleep on it. And so I packed my car up, I packed my stuff, and I drove down 3 years ago.
And learn with Mo, what was like that experience that first day we got to work with Mo and doing your time with him?
It was awesome to learn from such a legend as himself, but also overwhelming because he showed me a lot of things that for me as an athlete that I don't want to say we're necessarily, so I had to kind of restructure my style. Basically, I changed my whole style up. So that was a really difficult task to do. But to learn from him and all the other coaches at ATT, it was a blessing, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. And what was like your first fight? That feeling when you got in the ring the first time in the cage.
Ooh, the first time that was 10 years ago. Exciting, nerve-wracking, of course. I mean, you want to win, but you also have no clue what the heck you're doing. At the time, I was just a striker too. I had no grappling, and I just luckily won that fight, by I think it was either split or unanimous decision, but it was awesome. I mean, the feelings never change. You're super excited. You're still nervous. But yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I'm a country boy. I never been much for fighting. I wrestle, You know, when we were coming up, we had to wrestle, but you know, it's tough, especially you know with organizations like you know with BKFC, BYB. It's there's so many other more you know of the comic sports has really grown in the last few years. I growing up, I was a boxing fan as a kid, and you know I remember if you remember a boxer by the name of you know I know his name B Hop Bernard Hopkins when MMA was coming out, he called it gay sex because you know the guys rolling around on the mat and stuff like that. And then I think in the last few years, I really got into MMA and mixed martial arts because the fact is, you know, boxing's kind of fallen off a little bit. I grew up in the Mike Tyson era, tail end of Muhammad Ali and a lot of other great boxers, and then really it's kind of really expanded as a sport.
No, it definitely has expanded as a sport. You know, I felt the same way. I thought, you know, for lack of better words, I thought wrestling was kind of gay. You know, I didn't really understand it though. You know, I'm sorry if this is offensive. I don't mean it offensively, because obviously I ended up wrestling. You know, it's a sport, and but it's also a chess game, and that was one thing I started to learn once I started doing jujitsu and wrestling and grappling. You know, it's more than just rolling around in your little shorts, you know, on the ground. It's, you know, the moves and the techniques you learn. And it's also, it's great to learn that, you know, God forbid you ever get into a tussle on the street, you have a ground game, you know, because fights don't always, you know, stay on the feet. Sometimes they go to the ground. You got to know what you're doing.
I know, especially you know, growing up as a kid, you know, I think the best fights were the girl fights. Y'all girls, y'all go ham, you know, and especially when we were in high school, we'd be like, "Oh, say, we're gonna see a titty pop out." We're gonna see, you know, we get excited about that. But yeah, it is tough. And I know a while back you went over to Russia and competed in sambo, and
Yeah,
sambo's
yeah.
kind of like a bit like wrestling and BJJ in a way. In Russian, it's a Russian style of fighting. I know one of my favorite fighters. She's a master of sambo. That's Valentina Shevchenko, the Bullet. And you were probably one of the few Americans to actually walk away with a medal, which was a bronze. What was that feeling? To, you know, to get in there with these people that have been doing it for years and walk away with a medal.
Again, another crazy experience. I mean, I just went over there just to honestly, just to compete and have fun. You know, I actually didn't as terrible as this and naive of I was at the time, I didn't realize how big of a stage and how big this was, you know. And then when I went out there and I realized, you know, you could win a medal, I was like, oh, well. But you know, I got to compete against you know, the champion. She was from Georgia. I went against a girl from Turkmenistan, and there was, I think, Kazakhstan was the other country. I mean, you have all these girls from different countries. Oh shit, sorry. You
It's
have
all
all
right.
these girls from different countries and different levels. I mean, and these girls have been doing just doing sambo for years, and I just came out. I mean, I had a sambo coach, Russian sambo coach in America. He was like, "Hey, I think you'd be really great at this. You know, you have 6 weeks to train for it. You want to do it?" And I'm like, "I mean, why not?" So that's what I did, and I went out and I walked away with the bronze. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you feel like if you had like maybe another month or two, it would have made a difference. Maybe get you to silver.
Possibly. I think the more time you have focusing on a specific sport, the higher of a chance you have at doing better and winning, you know? So, yeah, definitely.
Well, right here we have here is my man Lawrence Perkins. He's popping through, and he's just said, "Good afternoon, Miss Jamie and George. Appreciate Lawrence for your support coming through." Also, folks, if you want to know about Miss Driver, her social media stuff in the description. Also, she has a PayPal. So if you want to donate to a fighter, you know, especially up and coming fighter like herself, she's appreciated. But also, here's my rules, and you got to watch this. I tell this to every guys out there. They're not gonna do it. No D pics, none.
I
Don't
don't,
send that. I know.
I
Yeah,
don't send them.
yeah. I know Jamie's a pretty girl. You get excited with pretty girls like this, but they don't want to see that stuff. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. I have to tell it to every guy. But you know, it's just crazy that guys out there be like, wow, she's pretty. You know, I'm gonna click, click, click. Hey, I'll see. No, you don't want to see that.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a lot more common for us female fighters than we'd like to admit. But yeah, please be respectful of the women fighters and respect us, you know, because also we will beat the shit out of you. Just remember
Yes,
that.
that's true. That's true. I don't want to, you know, like as a man, I don't want to lose to no girl. I don't want to be like, I want to fight. I want to fight this girl. That's it. Say, man, what happened to you, man? I got beat by a girl. Say, I got to do my other character. I have another character where I do the laugh, and he has to laugh like this. Yeah. Why so serious, son? It's like sometimes you gotta be prepared. You know, when you fight. And sometimes it's blood and guts. That's the other guy. That's the other guy. He comes out every now and then. And yeah, and like I said, I've been doing this content where most of my channel is good. Mine is focused on a bit on women bodybuilding, but women MMA I started doing some interviews a while back. I just recently did an interview with a lady who's going to make her bare knuckle boxing debut. That is Jessica Braga, and the Black Widow. She lives around in Florida, and she's going to make her BKFC debut. And also she's fighting another lady who's I will have you her later this afternoon, and that is Brooke Gillian, and she's also making a BKFC debut. And a lot of MMA fighters are going over to bare knuckle. I know Paige Van Zandt, Mike Perry. I saw Michael Venom Page, Pearl Gonzalez. I mean, I think what one thing with MMA, like you had big organizations like Bellator and UFC. This is what I compare y'all age to bodybuilders. If you're bodybuilders, MMA fighters, you still go through the same thing. You don't get much consideration. You don't get as much money. You work just as hard as the men, and you take a lot more risks, especially as women, because I think one thing is that the whole thing about cutting weight. I know talking with Jessica said one thing, she couldn't cut weight anymore. She had to fight within her weight limit. And like maybe she's not gonna 5 pounds, and that's a danger about that. Is that there should be some more guidelines and protections for fighters, especially for the women, when it comes down to health issues.
It's tough, I agree with that, but then it's also, I guess, maybe just because I've been in the sport for so long, I guess it just is what it is. But does it really affect hormones? I've actually had a lot of issues with my hormones. The older I get, the worse they get. And that's without being a combat athlete. So with weight cuts and putting our bodies under so much stress, I know some female fighters that, have fertility issues. They want babies and they can't, or they're, it sucks. But to me, it's just a part of the game. We kind of, what you're coming into, cutting weight. All of this destroys our bodies, so, but it's tough. Yeah. It's tough to be a woman in this sport, but we're doing the damn thing.
Yeah, you do the damn thing. And the thing is, like I said, I know some ladies who in the sport of bodybuilding. It's about the same because they use, supplements with, use testosterone and stuff like that, or gear they call it, which does affect them, But the thing is the debate is always about the use of steroids. And almost every sport everybody use steroids. But then when like sports like bodybuilding, when they use it, it's more to get a point of figure in it. And then in MMA, Diaz says like this: everybody use steroids, and and it's anything. The only thing what I learned is mostly just something we help you recover, especially when you've been training hard. Helps your joints, helps your muscles. It's not something that gives you too much of an advantage, especially don't have the skill set. Yeah, you can be strong, but I've seen guys who were strong and still got beat. Like you look at someone like Brock Lesnar, he got beat because he just wasn't a great technical fighter.
Yeah, it's a shame that I hate when everyone says, everyone's on steroids. Like, for one, I'm not. I don't need to be on steroids. I don't need that shit. But it is a shame that a lot of the sport is ruined by that. I don't know any women personally that are on it, but I wouldn't be surprised. I guess Chris Cyborg got caught with Winstrol years ago, which is a cutting agent. Yeah. So I know that was one of them. But it really is a shame to know that people do use it. I have heard good things when it comes to recovery, like you just said. We do destroy our bodies and our muscle fibers and all that stuff. But at the same time, like, the sport would be better, though, if people actually just didn't do them, But it is what it is.
There's not much you can do about it. My man Lawrence Perkins, he's a fan of yours, and he says, respect always the key to genuine to the ladies. Yeah, we have to respect the ladies. We got to respect our ladies. And now you, like I said, you just came back from training. And what's the name of your gym in Florida?
I train at Derek Santos Boxing, and it's in Boca Raton, Florida.
Boca Raton, Florida. I know we just had an issue with Ian about a couple of weeks ago. Were you all right? Were you spared, or
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like Ian, Hurricane Ian. Luckily, where I live at, it literally missed us. I mean, it was raining pretty bad, but no flooding. Where I'm at, everything was fine, thank goodness. But unfortunately, more up north on like the west coast of Florida, it got destroyed. Unfortunately, which is it's
Yeah,
sad destruction.
yeah, I
It's
know.
man,
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
yeah, I know. I don't know if I want. I live in North Carolina, and like we're not as deep in the middle of the ocean as Florida is. We're a little bit at the edge,
Yeah.
and we had some bad rain and a little wind, nothing too bad, but it's crazy sometimes. Now, how long you been living in Florida,
For 3 years now.
and where you originally from?
New Jersey. Good old
Jersey,
Jersey girl, Pennington, New
Jersey.
Jersey.
Oh Patterson. Oh, my aunt lives
No, sorry, Pennington.
Pennington. Oh, I say, well, I got an aunt lived in Patterson. My father lived in Jersey for a long time before he passed away. Jersey, y'all. Yeah, I interviewed a couple of girls from Jersey, and y'all Jersey girls, y'all crazy. Y'all be wilding. Y'all be wilding.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. You still have family back there, or
What's that?
you still have family back in Jersey?
Yeah, yeah. No, all my mom, my dad, grandma, uncle, everyone's there. I have some family in New York. My brother and his wife, they're out in Chicago, I think. But yeah, I go back home to Jersey all the time. I go back more often than I'd like to, but I can't get away from them.
Yeah. And when you come home, especially something like that, with your mama and daddy, your mama say, "Oh my baby, why my baby got who did my baby? Who did it?"
I've been doing it for so long, and they know I'm a special type of human being. So my
Yeah.
mom she prays for me, and she always that's her motive. She doesn't stress. She always prays, and they're very supportive. My dad loves it. At first when I wanted to fight, he was just like, "You're insane." I mean, even when I switched to bare knuckle boxing, "You're insane." But my dad has never missed a fight. He missed this last one, unfortunately. He couldn't make it out to London, but they're extremely supportive, and I love it.
Yeah, that's a good thing. You have a supportive family. I know with some situations, some people not be supportive of their choices. Like I know I do interviews with other people who done, especially in bodybuilding people and in MMA, say like they didn't want to see it's like we don't want you being such a sport where it's just so violent and so but like I said, you choose this sport, you have a love for it, you have a commitment to it, and a lot of people just can't do what you do.
No, I mean, fighting is not for everybody. A lot of, I did a little like vlog the other day, and I was like, people think fighting is really glamorous. And I was like, it's not. I mean, I've sacrificed pretty much everything. I left my family. I mean, I'm broke. Like fighting, like, it barely pays the bills. You know what I'm saying? But I do it because I love it. And you have to be built definitely differently. Your mindset has to be different. And I've had people along the way, tell me, oh, ask me, why do you do this? You're a pretty girl. You shouldn't be fighting, or, yada, yada, yada. Everyone's got opinions. Like everyone's got an asshole. So I don't really care, what people say. Um, I'm built for this. It's meant for me. I chose fighting and fighting chose me. So
Like Rocky Balboa said, I'm a fighter. That's what I do.
pretty much, I'm blessed that I found fighting because there's a lot of things that have happened in my personal life that I think without fighting and with the tenacity, the determination, the discipline that it's given me, I probably wouldn't have been able to go through or deal with certain things that have happened in life. So for that, I'm thankful. I'm a fighter in the ring and I'm a fighter outside. So
Yeah. And also, Rocky said that what, no matter how hard life hits you, it's just how hard you can take the hits and keep on moving. Take the hits, keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. I'm a Rocky Balboa fan. The Rocky movies. I just
I love it.
yeah. Everybody love, especially when I talk to some fighters and even some bodybuilders. They love the Rocky stuff because the fact is it's very inspirational. You get up in the morning, you put, like one day I just this morning I went to work out, and while I'm running, hit the treadmill, I got a song. I'll send it to you later. You might like this, like it, you listen to it. It's like it's a little Rocky remix, and and I'm listening to it. And you just play the music, and you hear the Rocky. Dun, 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 dun. If I could, if they didn't have these bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin, I could probably run down the road. But nah, I hit the treadmill instead.
Hey, that's okay. No, Rocky Balboa is really inspirational. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people are drawn to fighters because we're on a different level where we kind of surpass what most people do in the world. You got to have a
Hmm.
different level. You got a different mindset, motivation, discipline, and yeah.
Hmm. Well, besides the fighting, do you do anything else besides that? Because I know, like right now, we see some stuff on your social media, and you have some nice pictures. You know, very, I would say, wow. You know, right here, this one's gonna take a while. I don't know. It's gonna be. Yeah, this is like, Have you been approached about doing modeling and stuff like that?
Man, you got to show when I'm all done up and I'm looking all beat up right now. But
Well, come on. It's just like,
I mean, yes and no, but I don't know. I guess modeling's cool and all, but I don't know. I'm a fighter. I'm an athlete. I like sports. I'm more physical. I don't really care about all that foo shit. You know what I mean?
yeah, like I said, that thing is like it's usually the girls who are tom girls who usually end up being what, like this picture right here. Oh wow, look at the lips. I mean, I say,
Uh,
yeah. But your debut was against another fighter that was you know Rendine Echols, and that was
yeah,
it was early this year, right?
yeah. May 28th, we fought in Mississippi. Yep.
Yeah, and that's it. Because y'all fighting the Trigon, which is a triangle shaped ring, and pretty much is it like hard to move around in that ring?
No, I mean, I don't have a problem in there. I actually like it. I mean, you can stand toe to toe, but like you have room to move. The thing is if you have footwork and you know what you're doing, that you'll be fine. But some people don't have that. Like you see right there, she gets stuck in the corner. She can't get out.
Yeah,
Me, you see me, I'm moving left to right. So, but I love it. The smaller the space, you can't run from me and I'm going to come and get your ass. So,
yeah. You were putting a whooping on her. You like it was that old song, "Punks Get Up to Get Beat Down," and she got beat down. We got my man Lawrence Perkins again. Plus, fighting helps you blow off steam, frustration as well, make you feel powerful, and story behind the pain as well. Okay, that's cool, yo. And he says also, Rocky till this day iconic. And he just said, I just follow you too.
absolutely.
He just picked up a new follow
Thanks,
on
Lawrence.
yeah, appreciate it, Lawrence. He's a great dude. He's one of my followers, one of my supporters. Now, like also the thing is, social media is also good for you because I know I talked to one lady who is coming up and doing her debut in about a couple of weeks. He said that the social media thing really helps, especially when it comes down to the money. As you know, if you look at it, it's plenty of fighters in WWE now who are doing OnlyFans, who have a lot of IG. Looks someone like Pearl Gonzalez and also Paige Van Zant. I think that does help.
Hmm.
'Cause I know with your as advertisement as yourself and your interest in the long run.
No, I mean, it definitely, the more social media that you use, the better, and, the more people you'll talk to and potentially get really good sponsorship deals, if you work at it. On my level, it's definitely hard. I feel I have to work a little bit harder. Like, being a pretty girl only gets you so far, but luckily I have, I have good communication skills but using social media, and engaging with fans and talking to them and, it definitely helps. So.
Yeah, and that's good that it's good that helps out. You get people get attention to you. You have any sponsors right now, or it's just
Yeah, no, I have quite a few sponsors that have helped me out, which I'm so thankful for. I have Quality Drywall, Rainwear Seamless Gutters, excuse me, Dope Desserts, Third Eye Mind Tea, Smoke Time Shop, Combat Kings TV. Yeah, I mean, they have been great sponsors for me, so I'm really blessed.
that's good that you got support like these sponsors. You got support your family and friends, and everything else. Now, as you know, on that same card, you fought against what was your Sonia Dresling? What's her name?
Sonia
Dryling.
Dryling. Yeah.
Dryling. Okay, and on the same card was the title fight between Miranda Barbara and Josette Headbuster Cotton.
Yep.
And Josette, she won that fight. Josette fought in MMA. She fought against the PFL champion Kayla Harrison. Now that you're in the same weight
Hmm.
class, are you the next contender for the title, or is just you still gotta wait a little longer?
I'm not too sure. We kind of have to see where things are at. This fight, I came up in weight. I actually, unfortunately and sadly, I missed weight, which is really embarrassing and a disappointment to myself. I had some issues with the weight cut. I was actually really sick before I came out to the fight, so my body just couldn't handle it, unfortunately. But I usually fight at 45, and that's where I'm comfortable at. That's where I'm going to stay for now. So I don't really know what the next step is. You got to talk to the promotion and kind of see, where we're going to be at. I know there's also the 35-pound weight class. So I'm actually going to see, if my body is capable of going a little lower. If not, I'll stay at 45 and in time possibly go up.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that we said about earlier how weight cuts really affects you ladies, because the fact is the female body is not made like the same as the man's body. Males, we
Mhm.
our purpose is that we were built for three things: to breed, battle, and build. Women, you're supposed to be nurturing, you're supposed to take care of babies and children, but then you get into sport like MMA, and you have to, weight cut for one guy may not work for a woman. I know there's been quite a few ladies who have missed it. Like recently, Aspen Ladd, who was just cut from UFC after her fourth missing weight the fourth time.
Yeah.
And I think it's like one thing that it does. With women, you have menstrual cycles. You have your body chemistry. Even though men and women we have some more the same organs, our body chemistry is totally different. And and I know it probably I know they do the same thing like do in like some organizations when you miss weight. Do they take a percentage out of your fighters' pay?
Yeah, they take a percentage out of your purse and stuff like that, which I think is just, I wish I made weight. But yeah, like you said, us women, we have menstrual cycles, our bodies were meant to have babies, like you said, and stuff like that. And it's hard. You get your period the week of a fight. Oh, forget it. Because your body wants to hold on to that weight. It doesn't want to let it go. So it definitely, it's tough.
And then you have to be on a diet. And I know that like there be days where you like, I just, one thing I'm trying. I'm in a weight loss journey. I've been like I used to be over 400 pounds, and I went down under three. Like I'm in the 300 zone right now. And even though I just came out and working out, I did stop by and get myself a cheeseburger and the fries. And it just they be calling me man, be calling me man, be calling me like Pookie, be calling my name. And and there's times when you're like you go out with friends and they're eating steak and lobster, you have to eat chicken and steamed broccoli.
You know, Unfortunately, like before this weight issue I had in this camp, before that I was fine. I don't mind eating healthy. I actually don't go out that often. Especially when I'm in camp, forget it. I'm a homebody. So going out eating, it's not really a thing. I cook all my food, so I know what's in it. Going out to eat it's dangerous. I see a lot of fighters do it all the time. I'm like, no, because you don't know what the additives are. You don't know what's going in it. So when it comes to that, I keep it clean, for myself. But it is hard. Sometimes you have a bad day in training or just a bad day in general. Let me get that Snickers. Have a little, or if you smoke a little weed and you get the munchies or something. So, yeah. So, but it's, what it breaks down to is discipline and, choices. What's more important, that Snickers bar just because you just want it, or do you need it? You don't need it, you
it's
know?
it's like thing with like I said, I know I'm a sugar gag, and sugar's like crack. It's like crack. You're like
It is.
ugh!
Trust me,
And
I
then
know.
yeah, and you just like I say no, say Snickers or get take a pay cut. So I think I put that Snickers to the side.
Exactly. I mean, and it's all about just being a professional. I mean, hey, we all know what sport we're in. We know we have to make weight, so and you have to make sacrifices. And unfortunately, one of them is the diet. Even coming back home, I'm like, okay, you got to stop eating like crap. Yesterday I was like, do I want pasta or do I want a salad? Get the damn salad. Just keep doing what you're doing. You gotta keep it going. Gotta stay disciplined.
Yeah, that roughage is good for you, and
It,
it makes you regular.
it is
Now,
good
yeah,
for you.
now your opponent. I saw your fight. How your opponent you got knocked down by your opponent. What was that feeling? You got back up. What was that feeling when he got knocked out?
So I actually slipped.
Oh,
It looked crazy. It looked like she knocked me down, but I actually whiffed really hard with my left hook, and whoop, there went my big old self on the mat. But no, she actually, I can't remember. It was either the first or the second round. The cut that I got, she clocked me so hard. I was like, well, damn. I was like, okay, definitely not gonna get hit by that again.
She
Um,
she's
she
a
hit
pretty
hard.
tough opponent. She feel like a pretty tough. I know. I think she was a last minute opponent. They said, you
Yeah,
know.
so she was my fourth opponent change. So it was hard keeping girls. They didn't want to fight me, I guess. But no, she's a game opponent. So much respect for Sonya, and she's freaking tough. She never stopped coming. Like I couldn't get her off. I couldn't get away from her. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, like we you to this day she's definitely my toughest but best dance partner. Like she made me have to rise to another level. I had to dig deep for that fight so I could pull it out.
Yeah, I mean, winning that by by a split decision. It's a close call. At the same time while you were having your fight, we had another fight at that overseas, and it was like I think the day before that was between. You had the whole fight card with Christian T Rex Shields, Savannah Marshall. You had Alicia
Yeah,
Baumgartner. You
yeah.
had Michaela Meyer. I watch some stuff here because I ain't gonna I live on a budget. I ain't gonna pay for that. I'll just watch it. YouTube will pop it on every so often. You can catch it. But did you get to see some of the fight or hear from it or?
No, I mean, we were all of us were in London, obviously, but it was the night before my fight, so I just had dinner and went to sleep in my room so I could rest for the next day. But I did catch highlights the next day, and I heard about the Michaela Alicia split. I actually still, since I've been back, I love to rewatch fights. Excuse me, but I haven't rewatched it yet. But I heard again that was a close fight. Michaela thinks she won, but then everybody else thinks Alicia won. So I'd have to watch it for myself again. I mean, even my fight with Sonya, it was so close. Like if they gave it to her, I honestly wouldn't have been upset. You know what I mean? Because I won that by the hair on my ass. I'll tell you that.
Or hair off your chin. And I
Just chin
watched that.
chin.
I watched some of that fight. I thought it was highlights too. I think what Alicia did, she did a lot of more body work than
Mm.
compared to my Mela. And the thing is, I talked about this on my channel. Mela should have been better sport. Michaela should have been better sport. You took a loss, yeah. You just say you take out a chin, you just come back again. But I think Savannah and Carissa, they had a good fight. Their fight was good, and I can see why. Carissa is the GOAT of the fight. Would you ever consider, because you done Muay Thai, you done kickboxing, MMA, bare knuckle? We ever consider pro level boxing as a next step?
I'd love to. Yeah, no, that's something I've talked to my coach about. Right now we're gonna stick to the bare knuckle boxing because I'm gonna be a champion there. I know that, so I'm gonna get that belt. But I would love to cross over to pro gloved boxing.
Yeah, we got a man here, Lawrence Perkins. He said you can throw down. He's very impressed by you.
Thank you,
And
Perkins.
also, George, always a great friend as well. Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Now, we won't hold her too long because, she just got from working out. She's tired. She's been on the road, in the air, other side of the country. And we're just going to have a few more questions with her, and then we'll let her go and enjoy the rest of the day. Now, one thing I think we need to see more happen in mixed martial arts is better pay and better benefits. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Um, it's crazy to know that for the type of work that we do, just amongst sports in the world, I mean, we're the lowest paying sport probably I think out there. And I think I mean, unless you're at the top of the top, you know what I mean? Unless you're Tyson Fury in boxing and that. But everybody else under that, you're getting crumbs. And it's sad. It's sad to know that we literally put our lives on the line, you know, for a lot of times nothing. It's really just for the love of it. But yeah, I mean, I would definitely love to see a better pay scale. I mean, I know, it's just there's levels to this though. You have the regional scene. There's a reason why it's called the regional scene and why there's a certain pay level. There's a cap on it. But I still think, the rate should be higher for what we do, and definitely benefits. I mean, or a union. Yeah, I know a lot of fighters have been trying to talk about a fighters union or something. I'm with it. I agree with that as well.
Yeah, because I know Leslie Smith tried to do it back in the UFC, and her last fight was against Aspen Ladd because it was the end of a
Mhm.
contract. They let her go. And the thing is, the problem is with most people, they don't think about long time money; they think about the short term money. And I even talk about this as I do content on bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is probably they get paid even less than MMA fighters because the fact is, especially I do with women. Women they don't get paid much because your prize money could be if you compete at a show, it could be anything to $5,000 for first place. And then you got to account for the cost of suits, makeup, hair, everything like that. It costs a lot. And and also as a fighter, you have train camp, you have your coach, you have your, you have sparring partners. It's just all that stuff. Plus, cost of travel. You got to go here, you got to go there. Get your food, this, everything. It's just the cost of living is crazy, and like I say, you have your own place or you share with roommates, something like that.
Yeah, right now I just run a room. I make because unfortunately, in this economy, and then just with what I do, there's no way. Unfortunately, I can't afford to just live on my own and be free. A lot of fighters work full time, but to be honest, I don't really like to do that because I noticed when I was working full time and trying to train, my training suffered, and I have a losing record in MMA. I've sacrificed everything. I'm broke as hell most of the time, but I'm winning. I've won my last 3 fights. I'm 3-0 in my last 3 fights because I chose to sacrifice it all and not work really, especially like when training camps happen. So, but it's definitely tough to do this shit.
Yeah, because that's why I say when I made a request for your PayPal. If anybody wants to send donation, this is what all these guys out there. If you're watching this interview and you follow my channel, as you know, I try to get people to support these ladies in mixed martial arts, these women in bodybuilding. If you are somebody out there who have the way and the means to support a fighter, be genuine interested about supporting them. Don't be like this guy saying, like, Jamie, you're a pretty girl. I seen your pictures. You can't get no. Don't be that creepy guy. Be like this. Say, Miss Driver, I see that you are a fighter. You are trying to get find your path to the sport. I would like to help you. Only thing I want to see you is to make your goal and become a champion. And that's what we want to see among people who are fans. So,
Yes, that's what I
yeah.
want to hear. Thank you. Finally, someone said it.
Well, you don't have to thank me. This is, like I said, one of my favorite movies is Batman Begins. I know if my man K.A. was here, he'd be talking junk about me when I say this. My favorite part at the end of that movie when Jim Gordon turns around to Batman, says like, "I forgot you, thank you," and Batman turns around, "You never have to," because like I said, I really want y'all ladies to really succeed. Like I said, my channel is really much dedicated to women and mostly bodybuilding, MMA. Because if you look at it, most channels would be dedicated most to guys. Like, there'd be 27 of them men channels dedicated to mostly the men in MMA and boxing and bodybuilding and stuff like that. But only so few to women. A couple of my jobs, I used to work with women a lot. I was raised by my mother. I had 4 older sisters, 3 older sisters. Raised by my mother. I have a lot of respect for women. I love, like I said, it may not be the ladies, but it may not be the 80s, but I still love the ladies. And two of my jobs, one was I used to work in textiles. I worked with a lot of women. We were comfortable. We talked, had conversations. And my second job, I used to work at a strip club. And sometimes when you ladies be sitting chilling, nothing serious, just having fun, being cool. People, I had my homeboy saying like, "Man, you work at a strip club, man. You're not those girls." I was girls saying, "Man, nah. If it's a good night, everything's cool. It's a bad night, you're gonna be bitching like any other one." So anyway, like I said, we're not gonna hold her much longer. We're gonna let her go. I know she's ready to get something to eat, lay out, and get a good rub down. Like I said, what would you say to somebody who's supposed to say, Jamie, I want to be a fighter. What can you tell me from your experience?
Ooh, I want to be a fighter. I mean, shit, do they have a background in this? I mean, now regardless, I would just tell them straight up. If this is something you really want to do, give it your all. You know, don't doubt yourself. Put the work in, because if you don't put the work in, you're not going to get what you want. Anybody that comes into fighting, you want to win. So take the time, put the work in, be disciplined, be determined, set your goals, and that's it.
All
And
right.
have fun. You got to have fun doing what we do. It'll
Yeah,
break you down mentally and physically, but you just got to, if you don't love it, don't do it. But if you love
I
it,
don't know.
give it your all.
I don't know. Having somebody punch in my face is gonna be fun, but okay, that's what you want to do. So anyway, you have anybody you want to shout out to, sponsors, friends, family members, senior. You can do it right here, right now, while you have the time.
Oh, awesome. Real quick. Obviously to all my sponsors, I'll rattle them off again. Quality Drywall, Rainwear Seamless Gutters, Combat Kings TV, Dope Desserts, Third Eye Mind Tea, Smoke Time. Thank you guys so much. Without your support, this camp barely would have happened. My coaching, my team, Derek Santos and my team there has been nothing short of a blessing. I'm so thankful for them. all my friends, my family, my mom and dad. I love you guys. This fight was honestly for my mom and my dad and my little doggie. She passed away while I was away.
Oh,
So
I'm
this was
so
for all
sorry.
of them. So I love you guys, and stay tuned for the next fight. Probably going to be in the next year. I'm a little broken right now, so I need to rest and heal, but I'll see you guys next year and expect big things.
Yeah, folks, we got to hear the Red Queen. She's a fighter. You're like, yo, Adrian, I did it. I did it. Anyway, folks, I appreciate my man Lawrence Perkins coming through. Anybody, like, comment, subscribe, share. As I said again, if you want generally interested in following Miss Driver, the Red Queen, her stuff in the description. Also, she has a PayPal. So if you are somebody, like I said again, if you are somebody out there who's genuinely want to sponsor a fighter, who's looking to see somebody grow in their path, don't be these guys being like saying, you know what, she got some pretty pictures. I want to see some more. No. And also, my rules, guys. I know you sick freaks out there. You see a pretty girl like Jamie. You see, like, I'm gonna show you these pictures right here, real quick. You see like these pictures here, and you get excited, and you're like, no. Don't be that guy. Don't send those pics. She don't want to see that. She don't want to see your tally whacker. She don't want to see your mushroom head. She don't want to see your munchkin, your punchkin. Just be a guy. Just say, you know what? I really like you. I think you're a great person. I want to get to know you as a woman, as an athlete, and as a competitor. And that's why I reach out to ladies like herself, because I want them to get get them attention, because they deserve it. And I do appreciate your time. Congratulations on your win, and hope
Thank
we
you.
get to see you become a champion. So we
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for this awesome time speaking with you. It was great. Thank you.
Well, like I said again, as Jim Gordon said to Batman, I like to thank you and say you never have to. You never have to. Yeah. Anyway, folks, it's your man on the way, George Page, aka the Emperor of WWE Talk. I'd like to thank again my man James Perkins. We just got one of my brothers came through. The mighty Mr. Bennett GP is really grinding. Thank you, brother. Thank you for coming through. Too late, but you can watch it on the replays, whatever. But I appreciate you being out there. Support, subscribe. Like I said again, Jamie's social media stuff is in the description. Reached out to her, and like I said again, if you are someone out there who genuinely wants to sponsor a fighter like her, she's a great lady. She's, and like I said, and also I would say like this: she is beautiful. I had to bring that the other guy. So anyway, folks, this is your man all the way, George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body. Question. Female WMA Talk. Don't like, subscribe. We're out. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
You too. Appreciate it.